Good evening, class. It's Mrs. Albright, and today I will be instructing you on Lesson 16. The lesson objective is to use visual to add and subtract two fractions with the same units. We will be using, when I say visual models, that means we'll be drawing some tape diagrams and some number lines to help us understand this concept of how to add and subtract these fractions. So please get your scratch paper and a pencil, and let's get ready to learn. Before we get started on this lesson, some of the vocabulary that will be important to understand is units, meaning like the measurement of the item that we are working with, and difference. Difference is a word that comes up when we are dealing with subtraction. Difference is the space between two items. So we're going to start very simply. If we have a problem, 5 minus 4, if we think of that in terms of units, let's say the units are ones. 5 ones minus 4 ones equals 1, 1. If we change the unit, let's say we're talking about dogs, and we say that this is 5 dogs minus 4 dogs, our answer or our difference would be 1 dog. If it was meters, 5 meters minus 4 meters, we would have 1 meter. So in that case, the unit that we're measuring or counting by is the unit. So it could be ones, it could be dogs, it could be meters. And then the space between, the answer is our difference. So if we take these same numbers, but let's say it's 5, 6 minus 4, 6. All we have to do is think about the unit, 5 minus 4, the difference is 1. The unit that is being subtracted is still 6. So even if we write these as fractions, 5 6 minus 4 6, the unit doesn't change. That's still 6. It's only the numerator that changes to show the difference between these two units. We could even place those two units on a number line. So if we start with 0 and 1 whole, and I'm going to break this up by 6. So this is where 1/6 would be, or this is where 5, and this is where 5 6 would be. If I want to do 5 6 minus 4 6, I can hop on the number line, and I can subtract 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6. And where do I land? On 1 6, which is the answer to my subtraction problem. So you can use just subtraction, or you can use a number line to help you visualize that difference between. For our next problem, we are also going to deal with fractions that are less than 1. We have 7/8 minus 3/8. Now if I put this on a number line, I'm going to mark my 0 here, my 1 whole here, and because my unit is eighths, I'm going to break this into eighths. I'm going to find where 7/8 is on the number line, and since I'm subtracting 3/8, I'm going to start at 7/8 and subtract 3, or go backwards on the number line, 3/8. Now I just need to figure out, well, what is this fraction on the number line? And I can count it from 0, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8 is where we land. Now with the subtraction model up here, 7/8 minus 3, I know that 7 minus 3 is 4, so 7/8 minus 3/8 is 4/8. So we have another problem, 7 6 minus 2 6. Now I know that 7 minus 2 is 5, so 7 6 minus 2 6 will be 5 6. But let's say we want to represent this on a number line. I'm going to start my number line with 0, and I'm going to put tick marks to mark all my 6 units. 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, 6 6. Now I know that that is 1 whole, and 7 6. So we know that this fraction, 7 6, is greater than 1 whole. I need to subtract 2/6. So I'm going to start at 7/6 and hop back on the number line 2 times, and I land on 5/6. And that is the answer to my subtraction problem. I could do this by drawing a tape diagram. So again, I would start with one whole tape diagram, broken up into 6, and I would shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, since this fraction is greater than one whole, I have to draw a whole nother whole, break that up into 6, and shade one more. So now I have a total of 7/6. Since I am subtracting 2, I can subtract that one, I can subtract that one, and then I just count the number that I have left. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over for my answer, my difference of 5/6. For this problem, we are going to start with 10/6 minus 2/6. Now again, because the numerator is larger than my denominator, I know that this fraction is greater than one whole. If I'm just looking at this problem, 10 minus 2, we know that that is 8, so 10/6 minus 2/6 is 8/6. Now, when we have this fraction, that is, we call this an improper fraction where the numerator is less than the denominator, we want to rewrite this as a mixed number. So I'm going to create a number bond and ask myself, how many 6 are in one whole? And I know that in one whole, there are 6 6. So I'm going to take 6 of those 8/6 away and make that one whole. And then I'm going to count up to 8 to see how many 6 I have left over. So I'm starting at 6/6, 7/6, 8/6. I have 2 6 left over. So together, 6/6 and 2/6 make our original fraction of 8/6. So I can rewrite this as a mixed number of one whole and 2 6. If we wanted to see that on a number line, we could draw a number line, and I'm going to start with 0, 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6. So 6/6, that's our one whole. 7/6, 8/6, 9/6. 10/6 is where we started, and I'm subtracting 2. So I'm just going to hop back on my number line 2 6 and land right there. And you can see that when I'm writing this fraction, I'm already at one whole and 2 6. So this is one whole and 2 6, or 8/6 if we look at it as an improper fraction. For your first quiz question, I want you to solve this problem for me. 9/5 minus 3/5. I will be asking you to give me your answer in 2 different ways. The first way as an improper fraction, and then give me the answer again written as a mixed number. All right, we are going to go back to our first example, which is 1/6, but we're going to use some addition. So 1/6 plus 4/6, and we're going to think about how to solve this. Now again, since the units are the same, the units in my sum are going to be the same as well. So I know that 1 plus 4 is 5. The units do not change. We are still dealing with 6. To put this on a number line, I would start at 0, and I'm counting by 6. So my first number, which is this one right here, is 1 6. So I'm going to put 1 6 on the number line, and I need to add 4 6. So I'm going to keep putting tick marks. So that's 1 6, 2 6, 3 6. So I just added 4 6, and then I want to see where I am on the number line. So if I started at 1, I'm going to count up by 6. 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6 is where I landed on the number line. So you can see when I'm adding, if I'm adding 4 6, that is 4 hops on the number line, counting by 6 to land at 5 6. I want you to repeat this process with the problem 2/8 plus 3/8. Please give me the sum. For our next problem, it's going to get a little trickier. We have 5/4 plus 2/4. So I can rewrite this in fraction form, 5/4 plus 2/4. Again, pretty easy to add. My units don't change. So in my answer, my sum, I'm still dealing with fourths, and all I have to do is add across the top. 5 plus 2 is 7, so I have 7/4. So for this problem, this is a mixed number, and so we want to create a number bond so we can decompose this 7/4 and rewrite the fraction as a mixed number. So ask yourself how many fourths are in one whole. The answer is 4/4. And if I'm taking 4/4 away and I started with 7, how many fourths do I have left over? So you can count up from 4 to 7, 5, 6, 7. That means I have 3/4 left over. So I can rewrite this fraction as 1 whole and 3/4. For your last problem, I would like you to solve this one. 6/6 plus 4/6. And I'm going to ask you for this answer in 3 ways. The first way, I want you to give me the answer as an improper fraction. Then I want you to give me the answer decomposed as a mixed number. And as a challenge and for some bonus points, I want you to see if you can then take that fraction and reduce it into its simplest form. Thank you so much for working hard and paying attention, and we will continue working on this in class tomorrow. Have a great night.